Hello, hello. Porco Rosso, a 1992 anime film by Hayao Miyazaki, set kind of post-World War One, 1930s. Um, it stars Porco Rosso, a former World War One ace who is now a bounty hunter on the Adriatic Sea, who has quit the Italian Air Force because he won't fight for fascists. So this is very much Miyazaki playing in a identifiable kind of historical time. This is like the Mussolini's fascists have taken over. We see the kind of the parades going on of the glorious nationalism of fascist Italy. And by the way, Porco is literally a pig, man pig in this thing, in a world where everyone else is humans, and he's suffering under a curse. Um, he early on in the film, his his plane gets shot down, so he leaves a woman who he's seems to have known through her three marriages, all to other pilots, um, that have been shot down and killed, and obviously pining for him. But his plane is shot down, so he leaves her to go to Italy, where he is a wanted man by the fascists, to get his plane repaired. Where his engineer introduces him to a young 17-year-old Gina, who is from America and is an engineering genius, and redesigns his plane for him. Insists on coming back with him, um, back to the Adriatic, so he'll pay off his bill, because this has been very expensive. And at first you think he's fabulously wealthy because he's got all these piles and piles of cash, until you realize it's like, oh, deflation. This money is not really worth very much at all. Even when you've got suitcases and suitcases of it, you're still pretty much a pauper. So he's it's an interesting film. I mean, it's interesting how, because we learn about how he was cursed, uh, and it is a very kind of a striking flashback to him as a World War One ace, and just a vivid image of him rising above the clouds, and there's being this kind of glowing strip above him, and you find out what that glowing strip is and what it's composed of, and it's really touching. Um, and you find that whatever that curse was, is he came back from the war as a as a as a as a man pig. So it does seem to kind of really kind of it does really seem to that really does seem to kind of represent what's happened to him during the war. It's funny, the English dub version of this has Michael Keaton voicing Porco Rosso, and it's like, oh, so this is what Michael Keaton's career might have been if he had had a Humphrey Bogart's career, because indeed, if Humphrey Bogart was alive, he would have very much um, been a perfect embodiment of Porco Rosso, this kind of world-weary, tough-talking, um, kind of misogynistic but extremely charming pilot. Um, Short and kind of overweight, and yeah, just a that would have been the perfect thing of that kind of a charming pilot. Sorry, I'm patrolling the backyard, or trying to corral my doodle, but she looks like she's gonna go upstairs, so we can just finish this off in peace. As with all Miyazaki, the animation is beautiful. It's very kind of Tintin, kind of romanticized. A lot of Miyazaki's work, when it kind of even when it's doing kind of a mythical, what seems kind of quasi-European, it's often got this very kind of clean, romanticized kind of look to it. So, it very much is here, even though it's a kind of historical period, it still feels slightly at a distance, kind of fairy tale like. And indeed, there's the whole thing of um, Marco Porco's uh, um, curse, which seems to be, as Gina says, is like a fairy tale. And maybe a princess will kiss him and he'll turn back into a man one day. Um, there is maybe the kind of the thing of the sexual politics, even of just that kind of the concept of a woman's kiss being able to heal a man. It's like there's some issues there of that's is definitely Fantasyland, a very male fantasy maybe. There's also just a thing of Gina is 17 and and does seem like is very much a object of hubba hubba desire for like a lot of the male characters in this movie. The pirates are all like, oh, and indeed the kind of the central kind of conflict at the end. She's the prize. This 17-year-old girl, which the bad guy is going to marry if he wins, which is like, um, you can only say that, like, it seems like Japanese culture has the same thing with as North American culture of uh, over sexualizing young women. you know 17, and especially with anime, it's very confusing, at least for a Western eye. You look at her and you think, you don't look 17, you look 13 or something like that, which is always kind of semi creepy to a Western eye, at least. That may read very differently for someone who, Japanese, who is watching this, or just Japanese culture is fucked up that way, whatever it is. But yeah, yeah. So I really enjoyed it. Yeah, that scene of the plane rising above the clouds is pure kind of magical Miyazaki, and the rest of it it's like kind of a really charming, cool, um, Humphrey Bogart movie, but instead of in black and white, in glorious Miyazaki primary colors. So yeah, yeah, highly recommend. All right, more videos later.